Hey guys, this is Gary with the Lost in the Ozarks channel, and today we're starting our 2023-2024 hiking season. We're here on the Ozark National Forest and we're at the Barkshed Recreation Area, and we're going to do the North Sylamore Creek Trail from Barkshed over to Gunner Pool Recreation Area. It's about 4 miles, maybe a little over 4 miles, so hang with us and we'll give you the highlights of this hike. And when we get started, this is a beautiful hike, and the fall colors are really look like they're at their peak, so it's going to be a beautiful hike today. So y'all come along with us as we make this hike. Okay, so this is the trailhead here, and we're heading off. This is Barkshed, and get you a picture of the sign here real quick. So this trail actually goes from here to Gunner Pool, and then you can go all the way to Blanchard Springs, and then the Allison trailhead all the way up by Mountain View. So it's 13.7 miles, what, 9.5 hours to do the whole thing. We're only doing the just the from Barkshed to Gunner's Pool, so 4.1 miles. But this is going to be a beautiful hike today. So here we go. First hike of the fall of 2023 into the winter of 24. So this trail pretty much follows North Sylamore Creek, and you can see the creek down there running. I mean, it's just cold, clear, beautiful in the fall colors. This is gorgeous out here today. And we've actually done this part before. We came down here a couple of years ago and camped and did about a mile or so of the first part of this, and then turned around and went back. So we haven't done the whole through hike yet, so that's what we're doing today. And there's a beautiful spot down here where you can actually get down below the bluff and get down to the creek. I took some pictures of there last time we were here, so hopefully with the fall colors it'll be even more pretty now. Now you can see the leaves, there's some leaves falling, but the colors up here are gorgeous. North of here where we are, I guess because the elevation is lower, the colors haven't gotten to this point yet. It's still a lot of green up there, but the colors are beautiful down here.
Oh, I like them.
Oranges, yellows, reds. And then if you look up this draw here, look at those beautiful colors. And I don't know what the rest of the trail is like, but this part of the trail is not too, I mean, it's pretty flat. There's a little bit of up and down, but nothing like some of the trails we've been on. And when we get down here a ways further, we'll go along a bluff face that's really cool looking too. So we still got a lot of sights to see in this video, guys, so hang with us. All right, guys, well, Deanne, one of the friends that I'm with, she left something in the truck she had to go back and get. So while they're running back to get it, I'm gonna walk out here to the creek, walk down this little draw here, and let you guys see how clear and beautiful this creek is. Maybe get some pictures of the fall colors along the creek. And it is really warm today, so I'm running around in a short sleeve shirt and sweating a little bit. I'm going to look for snakes, because although we had freezing weather 2 or 3 days ago, we don't have any now. Wow, look at that. That beautiful clear water. I mean, just as pretty. I'm not going to go down to the creek level though right there. Then I'd have to climb back up and get muddy. See if there's a clear spot a little further down here. Go into this dead tree. Look how clear that water is. Beautiful. Then the colors up on the hilltops. It is gorgeous down here. So if you get the chance to come down here and hike, and this is definitely, especially during the fall here, but even in the winter, I think this would be beautiful as when the leaves get off the trees. There's some red berries here on this vine. I'm gonna head back up this draw and go back up there and wait for them, and then we'll get started heading on down the way. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah, one thing I did wanted to mention here, walking these trails sometimes when the fall or during the fall when the leaves are falling, the leaves can sometimes cover up these trails. So one good thing about this trail is it's got blue trail markers along the trail to help you stay on the trail any place you could get off. So this one should be a little easier to follow even if the leaves are down. Matter of fact, here's one of the blue trail markers up here, so that's what I was hoping to run across so I could show you what they look like. So they've got the trails marked with these blue trail markers right here on the trees. And no matter which way you go, because here on the other side of the tree there should be one. Oh, well, of course I find the one tree that doesn't have one on each side, but usually they're on both sides of the tree, so no matter which direction you're going, you can stay on the trail. So that's just something to keep in mind. Some of these trails, like the Ozark Highlands Trail and the Buffalo River Trail, if you want to do some of those, they've also got markers on the trees to help you stay on the trail. So that's just something to keep in mind. Here's another blue marker. When the leaves start coming down, because they'll cover these trails pretty good. And as we found out, mile marker 13, and that one does have blue markers on all sides of it. So just something to keep in mind. We have gotten off the trails whenever the leaves start falling. Then you have to pull the GPS back and out and get back on the trail. So just something to keep in mind. And these bluffs here are awesome too. Check this out. And you can hear the creek running down here. And this is on the Ozark National Forest, so this is all public land back here, except for a few private holdings that are scattered throughout. Most of this is, I mean, it's thousands of acres of public land in this national forest that you can hike, and they have publicly used areas, camping areas, things like that. And if I'm not mistaken, we should be getting close to where we climbed down the last time to get down to the creek. All right, looks like we're getting close to where the trail goes along this bluff here. This is pretty cool, and this is about where we came to last time. It went down to the creek level. I believe it's right up here. It's a little further along. This is a gorgeous hike, especially now with the colors on the trees. Yeah, I believe this is where we went down. Right up here. We went down into this draw over here and down to the creek. So from this point on, this is pretty much going to be a new hike for us, because we went down right here into the creek and then went down. and then we turned around and went back to the campsite. So it's all going to be new scenery from here, guys, so stay with me and we'll get to see some new stuff here. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to find the markers on the trees to stay on the trail. You have to look around a little bit, but you can usually find one if you just stop and don't panic. And on this trail, just don't get too far from the creek because it pretty much follows the creek between the campsites. Beautiful scenery though. This is what makes this trail so beautiful. It goes down into these draws and you're looking up at the trees, and then it goes back up. You can see after a rain where this water rushes down through here and down into the creek. Wow. Look over there on that hill. How the colors stand out. I bet they really stand out in the last hour or so before sunset. This is beautiful. All the reds and oranges down here. Like I said, from where we are up close to the Missouri border, there's still a lot of green. There's not a lot of color. Some of the after we had that freeze, some of the limbs or leaves, they were still green and they just fell, especially the mulberry trees. So this is gorgeous. It's really the first time I've gotten to see any fall color this year. And you can see we are quite a bit above the level of the creek now. Well, I was mistaken earlier. This is the spot where we actually went down into the creek and out to the gravel bar right along this bluff here. So I was mistaken. We did come a little further than I thought we did on the first trip, because we went down over here. We found a place right up here where it wasn't too steep to go down, right in this area, and went down into that draw and then back over to the creek. So we did come down to here. I think, yeah, now that I see this, I think we turned around down here right about where the trail passes down through this draw. I think it was right here by this rock where we went down, because there was a small waterfall down there and I see it. Whew. All right, well, it's November the 7th and I'm breaking a sweat. Yeah, I do remember we walked along this bluff line here. This is a cool part of the trail. So we did see this before. Yes, this is. So I guess actually from this point, it's where it's actually new scenery. Oh, this is awesome. Look at this. You can see where the water trickles down here and washes minerals out of the bluff above, and it collects down here on the ground. Whew. I hope we don't have to go immediately climb up on top of that bluff over there. It looks like the trail comes down here and then goes back up. Whew. Yeah, I know I didn't see this last time. You can see where the water rushes down over there. Okay, so it looks like the trail just follows this bluff line on around. We don't have to climb up on top of it, so that makes me feel a little better. There's one of the blue markers on the tree, so that we do know we're on the trail. One right up ahead of us. There's a little bit of climbing involved here. Not too bad. Oh. I can tell even though I haven't walked as much as I would have liked to get ready for hiking season, I'm in a little better shape than I was last year when we started, because my calves would have been screaming after something like that. I'm sure it'll be sore tonight, but it's not sore now, which is good. And it looks like we've made it about halfway. And they do maintain these trails, obviously, because, oh, look, a little ground squirrel. I don't know if you can see it when I do the video. I'll try to zoom it in, but it was right there on that tree that's cut up. That's what I was going to say, is they maintain these trails because somebody's come through here with a chainsaw, cut this tree up that was over the trail. I'm going to stop here for a second, catch my breath, and let them catch up. If you look up there, there's a knob up there, but we're pretty much to the top of the hill now. And so shortly the trail should start heading back downhill. This is a beautiful view up here. I mean, you look out across this valley, it is gorgeous. Yeah. Well guys, there's a little more climbing here than what I thought there was. But It looks like this goes around, follows around this draw so that you didn't have to climb down and climb back up. But gotten a little more sweating and out of breath than I would have thought I would have on this hike. Whew. Oh yeah. Yeah. I see the trail on the other side there. So I guess this goes up here. Crosses this draw and goes back the other direction. So that's not, if you look down there, the direct route would have been across that. So this is a lot better. But I will say now I can feel my hamstrings a little bit from climbing up from down by the creek. I didn't include the whole climb in the video because I mean, it was just uphill, not too bad, but a little more than the incline we got here. But I don't know if I've told you yet how beautiful it is out here. If I have, you'll have to forgive me. I'll go over here in the shade for a minute, stop and maybe get out some iced tea, have a sip. Wait on Dave again to pick up. Wow. On the other side of this creek bed, there it is. That tall hill over there is just got beautiful color to it. And looking right down here, there's a awesome bluff. That's beautiful. And it's taller than those pine trees down there, so it is a pretty tall bluff. Yeah, that is gorgeous. It looks like we're kind of walking along the bench of this bluff on this side, going up another draw. There's one of our blue markers, so we know we're still on the trail. And it looks like you go up here across this draw. And it looks like I can see the trail on the other side there. I'll head down here, cross this draw and head back up. So yeah, I see the trail over there. There's not much of a climb, so I'm gonna stop the video and then make this little swing around. I'll start the video back up. I don't know. It's right here. See what's down in this draw as we cross it. Since it's so warm today, though, I have to shoot this in short clips because I don't want the camera to overheat. But, whew, I bet that could be slick. Okay, so heading back uphill here, so I'll turn the camera on next time we run into something worthy. But that's a gorgeous view up there into those trees. And it's just a clear blue sky today. No clouds. Humidity's low even though it's warm. So I'll climb up here and we'll come back when we get to a good spot. Alright, so we're back up on top here. I don't know if you can see through there, but you can see where the creek is down there compared to where we are. Huh. Well, look what we have back here in the middle of the trail. Got some stairs. We're still going up. Oh, look through there. That is gorgeous. I know I keep saying that, but we ain't through going up either because there's more stairs up here. I guess this was a pretty good warm-up hike for the hiking season because there is some up and downs, and a lot of the trails we do, there's a lot of that goes on. So now we're kind of on the bench, so here we go. See if you can see through there. Maybe when I put this together I can do a pan here. That is beautiful. Okay, so we reached the sign here and we stopped and had a little water and ate some trail mix, and we reached the sign that says Gunner Pool 2 miles, so we're about halfway there, which embarrasses the crap out of me because I thought we were halfway there about a mile ago. So you can tell I didn't do much hiking over the summer. We do our hiking during the winter. Normally it's a lot cooler out. Normally we don't hike when it's close to 80 degrees and you're wearing short sleeves and sweating everywhere. So, but this is kind of a warm-up hike we decided on for some of the tougher hikes during the winter. And this is turning out to be kind of a cool hike after all. A lot more scenery than I thought there would be. I'm gonna have to come back and do the other sections of this trail. We got a clearing here. Looks like it was cut over some time ago. You can see some remnants of where it was burned. Okay, so we're kind of coming down off the bench a little bit. So I'm gonna turn the camera off since it's warm out here so it doesn't overheat, and I will come back when I run up on something scenic to show y'all. And Just stay with us. Be back as soon as that happens. Okay, so we just came down up there, and here's some stone steps back there, and then you just kind of, trail goes along this bluff line. This is pretty, and it's quite a ways down to the creek down there. Yes, there's some trees you could grab if you were to hit some loose gravel and slip, but I wouldn't want to end up down there. So I had to turn the video off. We met somebody on the trail and it was a little thin back there, but now we're walking along this bluff here. This is pretty cool. A little wider here too, so I'm not having to walk quite as close to it. My God, though, look down there how far we are above the creek. This is pretty cool. Wow. We made it through there. We're back out in the trees here, so I'm gonna pause the video here for a little bit again. Let the camera cool down since it's such a warm day today. And up here, you can see, this is another thing I wanted to mention about these trail markers. As you can see, this one here is kind of pointing this way. That is an indicator of which way the trail goes. If it's straight up and down, that means the trail's straight ahead. If it's going one way or the other, that tells you where there's a bend in the trail. So that's another thing that helps you stay on trail. You can see up here, this one's kind of rolled to the right just a little bit, so it shows the trail goes right up along this hill here. Like I said, you can see the trail now, but we get a couple of storms through here and get all these leaves down. It's gonna be hard to see this trail because it'll be covered with leaves. So that's just another thing to keep in mind when you're on these trails down here, whether you're on the Buffalo River Trail, the trails down here in the Ozark National Forest, or of course the Ozarks Highlands Trail that goes through here too. Kind of gives you a little idea of how the trails are marked. And of course it helps too if you know, we've got these GPS that once we do a trail, we've got the map to it. And I post those on our website at lostintheozarks.com. And you can actually download them if you want to for $1.99, or you can get 25 of the most popular trails for $25. So if you bought the whole 25 pack and loaded it in your GPS, then number one, you'd save half the cost almost. And number two, that's almost 2 years worth of hiking we've done. So those 25 trails are, you know, that would be a lot of hiking for just a little bit of money. And you can actually make sure that you're on the trail. So it's just something to think about. No pressure to buy it all. And like I said, with this video, I usually write an article that points out some of the good things, you know, the scenic areas of the trail, and put a map along with the download link to the file. So if you wanted to just download this one, you could do that too. It's only $1.99, and you know, our credit card processor takes a little bit of that, so we make about $1.20 off a trail map. So we don't make a lot, but we like, you know, it's something that helps us keep paying for the server and everything that we keep all of our website information on, and helps us, you know, pay for a little bit of gas money and stuff to come do these things. So, you know, if you want to support us, that'd be great. Obviously it's not required, but we do appreciate everybody that does support us. Climb right down here. There's a awesome bluff in front of us. I'm gonna go down here by the creek and see if I can't get a shot at it. Let you guys see. It's beautiful. Huh. Coon tracks. Check this out. This is gorgeous. All right, so now we got a bridge here to cross. A little bit bouncy. This is going up. I hope it goes along the edge of this bluff and not to the top, because that's a ways up there. It looks like we follow along here to the... Wow. Look at how clear that water is. That was beautiful.
That water.
There's a little waterfall down here. Not much of one, but that water is just as clear. It does look like the trail goes along the bottom of this bluff, so not that kind of climbing, at least. Actually, I am pleasantly surprised at how beautiful the scenery is back here. And this is that bluff we were looking at earlier from down in the creek. So we got a creek on one side, the bluff on the other. You don't get much better than this. If it did, I don't know if I could stand it. Pick my feet up here, trip. Hi. I'm gonna shut down the camera again for a little bit, let the camera cool down. The only complaint about I have this is an older GoPro. This is a Fusion, and if it's warm outside and you take a long video, it will overheat. So, but I've never had to do that when it was cool outside, when it's down in the 40s, 50s. Look at that water. That is gorgeous. And now we're down in the bottom, close to a little more shade in here, a little more greenery and tree cover. And looks like here we start back uphill. I'm just guesstimating. We should be getting, there shouldn't be any more than a mile from Gunner's Pool. We had been walking for a while. And that's our ultimate destination. That's where we left the Jeep at. And then we'll take the Jeep back around to Barkshed. And then stop and have a little bite to eat and sit down by the creek underneath the bridge in the shade. Which, if you guys that follow us know, we usually bring a little bit of something to eat after we get back and sit around and talk about the trip. So we're just kind of walking through the woods now, so I'm gonna pause the video again, come back up in a little bit, so stay tuned. Yeah, looks like we got another bluff. It didn't really feel like we climbed that much, but we've gone from right down in the bottom near the creek to way up the bluff line here. Of course, I'm sure the creek is falling away because we haven't climbed that much. If we did, it was such a shallow incline that we didn't even notice we were climbing. But we were down the creek earlier. Now if you look over there, the creek is 100 feet or so down there. But the trail just runs along the bluff line here. And one thing I did want to mention is these places are way out in the wilderness, so a lot of these places don't have any kind of cell reception or anything. So if you want to get a map for this, you want to make sure and download it to your phone or your GPS unit, and so that you can use it offline, because there's not cell service in most of these places. I mean, we're behind a bluff here, and there's another hill on the other side that's 200 or 300 feet higher than us, so there is no line of sight FM signal for you to get. So that's another reason to think about getting our GPS maps. And it's also another reason to be careful down here, because if you fall, it can be hours before somebody gets even to a point where they can call to get you help. And then a lot of times the rescue guys have to put their life at risk, come in, carry you out to a spot where a helicopter can get in to fly you out. So, you know, it's another good reason to be extra careful around these bluffs and stuff like that, because if you fool around and fall and break something, it can be hours before any help can get to you. That's also why I just started carrying a handgun with me, because we have run across wild hogs back in here, and you know, if you run across an old boar, they can easily hurt you, as in rip your legs open with their tusks. So unless you have a tree that you can climb, and most of this is old growth stuff that there aren't no limbs down close where you can get hold of them. So it's just things to think about when you decide to come to places like this. Be prepared. I have no intention of having to draw a weapon unless somebody's life is in danger, but as the old saying goes, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And I know, you know, bears and stuff like that I'm not worried about, because we run up on bears and I've scared them off. You know, unless a black bear has cubs, you You're not in any danger from it. All you do is make yourself look big. Huh. Well, this is interesting. I'm assuming the chalk mark here means go this way around the Alright, let me get my camera up here so I don't scratch the lens. Yeah. Yep. Oh, wow. All right. We are heading downhill. Back down toward the creek. It's not a climb down. This is a really nice, easy. We should be getting pretty close to Gunner's Pool. We're getting down here close to the creek. And we're getting in the shade too, so it's cooling off a little bit. There's a nice gravel bar out here. And let's see what this sign here says. Hiking trail, no ATVs, no horses. So we must really be close to Gunner's Pool, which this definitely looks familiar. Oh, there's a gravel bar out here. Yeah, we're close to Gunner's Pool now. There's actually a, looks like a cave or something over there. I'm gonna walk down here. I'm not gonna actually go all the way down in, but just so you can see. This is beautiful. Walk over here. You can see this green water. I mean, the water's clear, but it has a green tint from all the minerals that are in it. Oh yeah, there's the bridge at Gunner's Pool right down there. So this is beautiful. So there's the bridge right down there that we crossed when we parked the Jeep there at Gunner's Pool. And check out how clear this water is. I mean, it is just amazing how clear it is. Where I'm from, down in southeast Arkansas, where all the rice and soybeans are grown, believe me, you don't see water like this. Nothing but muddy water. Well, this is gorgeous. I'm actually happy to be living up in this area now. Beautiful country. All right, guys, so we are almost to the end of the hike. This hike is 4.1 miles, this section of the trail, from Barkshed to Gunner's Pool either way. So this is a good warm-up hike for the hikes we'll do later in the year. Some of them are a lot longer. We've done them as long as a little over 7 miles. Of course, it was a, you know, it's 3.5 miles in, or a little over 3.5 miles in, 3.5 out. This is a through hike of 4.1 miles. So we did like a lot of people do when they're floating to Buffalo. We brought 2 vehicles, parked one at one campsite, one at the other, and that way we can shuttle back instead of having to turn around and walk back another 4.1 miles, because I'm not sure I wanted to do that. And there's a sign coming up here, but I will definitely get a shot as we take the road and go over the bridge up here, because this is a cool old iron bridge. But the road's right up here. And yeah, let's walk over here and look at the creek. clear water. And here's the sign for this. Actually shows we are at Gunner's Pool. So from Barkshed to Gunner's Pool is 4.1 miles. It's 5 miles to the Allison Trailhead. No, the Allison Trailhead. It's 5 miles to Blanchard Springs from here. And then up to where the Sylamore runs into the White River, the Allison Trailhead is 4.6 miles. So total length 13.7 miles. You can do it in 9.5 hours. I wouldn't want to do it all at one time, but so at this point we walk up the road here, so I'm gonna pause the video until we get up to that bridge I was telling you about. Such a cool bridge. So I want to show y'all that for sure, so stay with us for that. All right, so here's the bridge. This goes over North Sylamore Creek, and this is the bridge as you're coming out of the Gunner Pool Recreation Area. So I'll give you a view of the creek from out here in the middle of the bridge. And also, I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but there's a nice dam over there that makes a pretty picture. I think you'll be able to see it from here. Yeah, so if you look right over there, you can see the dam, and then the creek's below us. I'm gonna step out here and get a 360 photo. And we're going to end the video here. We appreciate y'all coming along with us on our hikes. And as always, you know, you can follow us on our website, lostindozarks.com. And as always, thanks for watching.